Fremantle always has been Perth's second city. Until recently we had that sense of it getting lost amongst a myriad of other activity centres. And this is Fremantle's great opportunity to restate itself as Perth's second city, to build on that social and economic heritage of a place where you can live and work and shop all in one place. We've got the great built heritage and we need to make sure we bring our economic and social heritage with us as well.
We've got in this city 4 wonderfully dense, intense activity centres, and they're the envy of every town and every city in Australia. One of them is, of course, the West End. A wonderful, preserved 19th century port city, the equal of any in the world. A second one is the port itself. It is a moving, viable, economic generator of interest all the time. And the waterfront, Victoria Quay, can, I think, become much more part of the city. We've got the entertainment and leisure centre of the city, the Cappuccino Strip, football ground, the Esplanade, the fishing boat harbour, an intense area of attraction day and night, 7 days a week. And finally, we've got our seafront from the South Mole right through to South Beach, a wonderfully historic, intense, active part of West Australia's coast. The one, of course, that I haven't mentioned yet is the 5th activity circle, which doesn't, in my view, work so well right now, and that's our central city, the CBD, the retail, commercial, residential centre of the city. We have certainly a set of economic imperatives as far as the future of the city is concerned. And it's a quite narrow window of opportunity, I think, for us to turn some of the economic conditions in our central city around. I suggest it's no more than about 2 years through which we need to move as a city to re-establish together the retail, residential and commercial activities of our centre. If that continues to fade away, then the other 4 activity centres will in turn struggle because they will miss the ring that holds them all together.
Brad Pettit was elected mayor on a platform of green redevelopment and won with a significant majority in late 2009.
New council was elected about 20 months ago, and one of the key focuses was around economic development, revitalising the city, not just as a tourist centre, but as a real place. But doing so in a way that really honours our past, but embraces the future of Fremantle as a vibrant economic centre. And for me, that's what's really exciting, and that is the absolute focus of this council.
Within 6 months, the new council released its strategic plan, with economic development as its key priority, and proceeded to commission a retail model plan.
Well, first and foremost is there's a lack of people in Fremantle, particularly from a retail perspective. That has to be fixed in 3 ways really. One is to add some more office space and residential units within particularly the central part of Fremantle. Secondly, there needs to be much better management, marketing and coordination of the retail offer that's already here. And thirdly, there needs to be additional retail space put in to cope with increased people that finish up living here.
During the same period, the city also commissioned a report into drivers of activity in the city centre.
The report revealed there's enormous goodwill and enthusiasm in the development community about doing business in Fremantle. Unfortunately, the report also revealed that over the last 20 years or so, a perception has taken hold in the development community that Fremantle is opposed to development and investment in the city at all costs.
Being a Fremantle lad from way back, it was quite interesting because Fremantle had always been thought of as that second CBD to Perth. What the study revealed was, in fact, it was very much losing that position, and that is it still has many of the iconic things that you relate with Fremantle in terms of particularly the entertainment and the cultural components. But where I suppose it was losing ground, so to speak, was things like the retail offer. It doesn't have that full retail offer, and the question is how long will it even sustain what it has now? So one of the things we also did for Fremantle was looking at office accommodation. And the reality is that there is only so much suburban office space that can happen. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that you're competitive.
Based on these reports, the city adopted its economic development strategy in April this year.
One of the things that the strategy did was set some targets for City Central, which is 1,500 additional dwellings, 70,000 square metres of A-grade commercial office accommodation and 20,000 square metres of retail floor space. In order to achieve those targets, we need to identify height limits in the city that are realistic, that are commercially viable, and also provide for those targets.
There are three ways the Council is achieving these goals. The first is through scheme amendments. The East End Scheme Amendment was recently gazetted and is an example of the Council's resolve.
The East End was previously zoned just 3 stories, and we expect to see major new developments of 5, 6, 7, 8 stories happen throughout that area. The scheme amendments are absolutely important. We really haven't seen any major quality developments in Fremantle for many decades actually, because none of the right incentives have been there for the landowners. So what we've gone through and said to landowners is, well, we'll give you extra height, extra bulk, other development bonuses in exchange for getting new development and getting high quality new development in the city centre. What we're going to be doing instead is taking those ugly parts of Freo, those 60s and 70s buildings that no one loves, in fact most people hate, from the Myer building to the Target building and the Woolstore shopping centre, and actually getting those redeveloped, rezoning those from 2 to 4 stories, which they're currently zoned, up to 5, 6, 7 to encourage quality new development, to get new residents, new office space, new retail into those areas, and actually, and in that way, revitalise Fremantle as a primary regional centre.
The second way the Council is revitalising the city centre is through developing council properties and working in partnership with landowners.
One of the things we're working really hard with the development industry on is developing our own properties, getting really good development plans up for our own properties to try and increase that commercial space and retail space and residential space. We own this building, Queensgate. We own the Queensgate car park, the Spices site. We own Freehold, the office site. We own a 5,000 square metre site over in Point Street. We're talking to the development industry about all of those sites, about facilitating development and working with government to actually help us do that.
The third way is through bringing all the planning agencies together and creating a Fremantle union.
There are other planning agencies in addition to the city who we need to work with very closely. We need to work with the port, of course, that we need to break down any semblance of a barbed wire between the port operation on the one hand and the city on the other. We need to work with the planning department and the WAPC because their powers and responsibilities in relation to the overall metropolitan region greatly affect how ours goes in the future. And finally, we need to work with the PTA, Transperth, Department of Transport, because we have a railway station at our heart, which is still, in my view, not recognised as much as it needs to be. But it sits right now in a sea of bitumen and car parks. And that provides the great challenge, but also, I think, the great opportunity as we come together as a community and as the agencies work together to ensure that our central city progresses the way it needs to.
We are a regional city and we serve a catchment much greater than Fremantle. It is our intent to regain our status as a primary centre and to once again be Perth's second city.
When I went back, some of my friends were saying, oh, you're going to come back to Europe and live here. And I guess what I kept saying to them is that Fremantle has got so much potential to develop and I'm excited to be here to watch that. The exciting thing is, since I've been here, we've had the election, we've got a new mayor, he's young, for me what's really important, he's in the field of sustainability and you can see what he's trying to do to the city as well. So I've been advocating that cities in general in Australia really do need to increase their density, but I guess the biggest thing that you come up against is people's fear of, oh no, density means high rise and it means, 50 stories Shanghai style, and it can just mean 5 or 6 stories. I think it can be really beautiful. I mean, that's what you see all through Europe as well, and then you can start to incorporate little courtyards within those areas and increase, have more public space.
The most exciting thing about it is that there have been a few key changes that have come about, and I think that the time is right. Let's sort of talk about when all the planets align. I think that the planets are aligning to perhaps bring about some change.
The economic conditions in WA now are just perfect for Fremantle to really jump in and take advantage of those benefits.
4 agencies working together within a community that trusts and works with them we can move the city any place we want to take it.